All right, you guys, this one today is a really good one. I think it's my favorite show to date.
Yes, we had a bunch of good content. The guest we had on for today was one of a kind.
She was awesome.
Really, really good episode. And I just felt like a lot of our perspectives were cool because they were all unique and we were able to just give some really good tidbits on a lot of the topics for today.
Yeah, so those of you in the wedding industry, I think you're going to get some takeaways from this. We have a new segment called This or That that we do with her, and she passed with flying colors. I was holding my breath and hoping that I wasn't going to have to kick anybody off the podcast today.
Yep, you were a little worried there, but it worked out.
No, it was so much fun. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one.
I'm excited. Let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
What do you like better, Christmas or wedding season?
Mr. Gray.
Yes. The answer would be wedding season.
Bingo.
Well, you've just inspired me to hire a DJ, so thank you.
Oh, well, good luck finding a DJ who can move and shake like this.
You are now listening to Cutmaster Cast.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cutmaster Cast.
Yo, what is up, everybody?
I am Chris Romero.
My name is Tony Pacheco.
And we are DJs with Cutmaster Music based out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And today we're going to change things up a bit.
Yeah, we're switching it up with an awesome guest this time.
That's right. We're going to focus on insights and perspectives from the best and brightest minds in the wedding and event industry. So I'm going to introduce today's guest as we are super excited to have her. This is Taylor Fail, everybody.
What's up?
Yeah, let's give it up for her.
Yeah. That's right. The people love you already. Taylor is the founder and lead wedding and event planner of Lace and Bow Bridal Events. So welcome, Taylor. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here.
Yeah.
So let's get things started out a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Lace and Bow Bridal.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry for about 8 years, but Lace and Bow has been around for about 3. So I actually started the company like right before COVID. So it was like the worst time to start a business.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You know.
Well, that maybe not as much competition.
Yeah, exactly. It actually was like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been in the industry for about 8 years. I got in it pretty much how most people get into it, by planning my own wedding.
Okay, right.
And I actually have a biology, like marine biology and psychology background. So
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I'm a biology major as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a bachelor's in marine biology and a psychology master's. So I really enjoy the analytical, logistical, detailed side. So I'm very like big in spreadsheets and checklists and steps. So I'm way more logistical planner than a designer planner.
Nice. Organized, though. It
Yeah.
sounds like you're very organized.
Yes, I have a little bit of OCD, I'm sure.
I'm sure it helps with wedding planning, though.
It does. It does. I think a lot of planners focus way more on the design aspect because that's what guests see physically. But I try to bring both aspects to it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Okay. So I'm ready to just kind of jump right into this here.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to become a wedding planner, and how did you get your start? So you obviously you did your own wedding.
Yeah.
And then some questions must have happened in your head there. And
Yeah. So while I was planning my wedding, I was also helping a cousin and my sister plan theirs. So I was helping plan 3 at the same time.
Wow.
Never had any experience in it. And I actually did not have a wedding planner coordinator in my wedding. And so getting to be on the other side of it showed me that it's really valuable to have that professional there who understands the industry, who is an advocate for the client, who understands the time management and logistics and the budget. There's just so many things that came behind it.
right.
And I enjoyed planning my wedding more than I thought. And most people just want to be done with it. But I actually really enjoyed the multitasking and the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just kind of slowly helped other people that I knew, friends and family, and the random other people who knew me to help plan their wedding, and just decided at the beginning, like right before COVID, I was in the veterinary medicine field, which is a very exhausting field to be in. And I was just burnt out.
Yeah.
And I'd always talked about having my business as a hobby on the back burner. Like one day I'll do this big thing. And I decided right before COVID, I'm going to jump in cold turkey and just like make it a full-time business. So I'm a full-time planner.
Nice.
So you went from having this probably a pretty steady income and job, right? Like the safety net.
Yeah.
and then you just cold cut that off
Cold
and went
cut.
right into this.
Yeah, I
That-
had probably like 3 weddings that were booked with me when I cold cut, like quit my job. But amazingly enough, like the moment I quit my job, I had so much more time to give to marketing and expanding that I took on so many clients so quickly.
You know what? So I think that's a great point, because I think a lot of people that are looking to make the jump into doing their passion or something else full time, right? Or your hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because very similar with me. But I took a little bit different approach. I feel like it took for the lack of better terms, you had the cojones to make the full time jump. Where I think a lot of people don't have that, right?
Yeah.
Or like it's scary.
It was terrifying. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It was terrifying, but I'm a big proponent for that. Like you really like what's the worst thing that happened?
You'll go back to work, right?
Yeah, I just go back to a 9 to 5.
There's so many of us that can't do that. Like it's so hard, right? Like you need the safety net. So that was like my approach with it was I had my safety net, my full-time job, and then when I had enough events in the pipeline, and I realized, oh my, like what am I doing? I've got 2 full-time jobs right now I don't need to have. Then that's when I cut off the other stuff and then went full-time with Cutmaster. But that's amazing that you were able to just say, nope, I'm going right into this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't realize, and you probably asked yourself too, or maybe, I know I did, why didn't I just do this 5 years? Why didn't I do this so much
Yeah.
sooner? Like I should have just let it go, right?
Yeah. I, for a long time, was like, why did I waste so much time? Like, why did I go to college for a marine biology background? Why did I go into the veterinary medicine?
Did you have any
field?
business background or any?
No,
Same here.
none. I have always thought about taking business classes, but never actually have. And
Neither
so
did
now
I.
being a business owner, I'm like, maybe I should take an accounting class. Like, maybe. But honestly, the most professional, like successful people that own businesses that I know don't have any business
You have
background.
to
They
learn
have
by
no
trial.
MBA.
Mhm.
Yeah, fire
'Cause
by
I
trial.
think you don't learn the habits of what people who have like a business degree might know, because real world experience is far more valuable.
Yeah.
And you can't replicate that in a classroom.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know. I used to be 9 lives ago as well a teacher, so I went and got my. I know I'm from biology. Yeah, I could sit here and talk all day about my different lives, but one of those was teaching. And when I got my master's in education, it was very similar, right? So you do all of this pedagogy and all this classroom work, and then you get into the classroom, and they don't tell you how to deal with rotten, ornery high school kids.
Yeah.
Kids, yeah.
And you don't learn it. And actually teaching, you're so into your content and you think, oh, I'm going to be the greatest biology teacher ever, blah, blah, blah. And you realize,
Exactly.
well, nah, I'm actually,
You got to manage a bunch of teenagers.
like I'm
Yeah.
running a daycare.
I think it kind of helped me though, because as event planners, we adapt. That's like one of our number one skills. is that
Yeah.
we have to learn to adapt and think on the spot. So having a degree that I don't even use and like going through that experience, I think, jumping in full force kind of helped me in that way.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Good
that
for
is
you.
really, really cool.
So.
Okay, so next question for you. So how do you typically work with couples to create a unique and personalized wedding experience?
Yeah, so I'd say about 70% of our couples are from out of state. So we're a
Mm.
big destination location here in New Mexico, specifically Santa Fe.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we work a lot digitally. So we use Zoom for Zoom calls. We try to plan when they're coming into town 1 or 2 times. Whenever they're coming to town, we try to line up all those meetings, things that we can do. But we use a lot of communication over technology. So we actually have a project management software called Asana. We have a built-in portal for our clients. They know exactly what they need to do on their end, and we can actually communicate with them on those different tasks, like get your marriage license, due date, and then they're like, well, how do we do this?
Yeah.
So we're really big on communication. That's like one of my number one things with vendors, with clients. Communication is a really big thing for me. And so being accessible to the couple makes it a lot easier. And when we first start the process with them, I always ask them, if you were to pick a category that's most important to you, what would you say? Because I kind of categorize them by the wedding appearance, the wedding experience, and the wedding memories. So appearance being flowers, decor, the venue, The experience being the music, the bar, the food, the favors, and then the memories, obviously photography, videography.
Yep.
And every couple is a little bit different, but I would say majority of our couples, especially if they come from out of state, they do want that New Mexico experience. They want to show New Mexico to their guests, whether it be the food, having a mariachi band,
Mm-hmm.
the favors, maybe it's in the decor, like a wedding this weekend, the chili ristras are their centerpieces. So different things like that, just to represent New Mexico. So it's always important to ask them what type of experience do they want their guests to have? Do they want it to be really immersive? Do they, just want a little bit of touches here and there? So it kind of depends, because some people vary more on like food and drink, more on the DJ side. So it kind of just depends. So we try to we do not do cookie cutter weddings. That's a number one thing for me. Every wedding is very unique to the couple, and I want the guests to first arrive and say like, oh, this makes sense. This is exactly like this couple.
Mm-hmm.
See the personality.
I totally feel that, because I feel like the weddings that we've worked with you, each of them has been a different couple, a different experience. We were just talking before the show here about a couple that we had that was from the groom was from the UK, and it was a total Afro beats vibe, like something I'd never done before, and the music I hadn't played before. And it was just so cool to get outside the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And we do a lot of cultural weddings too. So we're really big on the couples educating us on their traditions, their cultures, and same exact, with that situation, tell us what we can do to incorporate your culture, your music style, your personality.
Exactly. I feel like I do the same thing with music and all that, but I really like to encourage them to make those suggestions on doing something different, doing something new, because for me, it really does make it more exciting. It's something new, it's something fresh. It's not the same old wedding that we're doing every single weekend. And so I'm always about like beefing up a certain special dance. Like we're going to be doing one that's called like the snake dance. And so it's like a Mexican version of La Marcha. Because La Marcha is New Mexican. It's very New Mexican.
Right.
We're going to be
Heard of
doing
that.
It's like they put the groom in the center. The groomsmen like circle around, and then the
Is
bride.
it like the old, like the snake game where
Like-
you have to like get
Go-
longer and longer?
You're doing the
That would be
you're
funny.
doing the mamba dance.
I don't know. Yeah, right. The Mamba
You're
dance.
doing the
They
mamba.
have to like block the
Cobra
bride
Cobra
from
Kai.
Yeah, Cobra Kai dance, right? From the groom, and it's supposed to be fun. So, but yeah, stuff like
Interesting.
that makes
Yeah,
it unique,
yeah,
memorable.
exactly.
So Taylor, do you find yourself, since you're doing a lot of Santa Fe events and, most of your couples are out of state, like, are you targeting them? Is that like your target market is the out of state couple?
I would say so. Yeah, we really don't get a lot in state, and generally, like the ones who are in state aren't our typical client. We just have a specific client that we attract, and they generally are like Type A, career-driven people who are from East Coast.
Mm,
That's like our most common market.
right.
Interesting.
So it's cool because it sounds like you really enjoy like being able to show them New Mexico and the
Yeah.
New Mexican experience
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
the different ways
I'm
to tie
from
that in.
here originally. I did not always live here. I have a little bit of Southern twang. You can
Yeah,
probably tell.
Nice.
you know what? I noticed that on the website too.
Yeah.
Was it Alabama?
Yeah, so I grew
Okay.
up in Alabama. My dad was in the military.
Okay.
So I have a Southern accent because that's where I spent a good chunk of my childhood.
Mhm.
Went to college in Mississippi. I have a really like Southern husband. He's got a Southern twang. So I can't get rid of it. But I am from Albuquerque. And so I always told my husband, like, I want to move back. Like, I want to be back where I consider home to be. And so I want to also show that off to the couples because we really have so much to offer in this state.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right.
It's funny because when I grew up here, I felt like, oh, New Mexico, there's nothing to do here and all
So
that.
underrated.
And as I've grown up, I've like learned to really cherish like all of the unique parts of it and how it is exotic to a
Yeah.
lot of people who aren't
We
from
take
here.
it for granted,
Yeah, we
right?
do.
I mean, it's all the little things, the balloons. I mean, we
Oh.
see them every single weekend up in the air, but then, like, I still I try to tell my kids this, like, when you're driving down the street and you see, 30, 40, 50 balloons in the sky on just the weekend, like last weekend or whatever. And it's like, you can't get that anywhere else,
No.
right? I mean,
It's true.
so it's cool to be able to, that you do that for your couples that are coming from out of state
Yeah.
and show the state in a good light, right?
Yeah.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you face when planning a wedding, and what do you do to overcome those?
So I would say like a big one is too many cooks in the kitchen.
Mm,
Parents want to be involved, maid of honor, friends of the family. I've been married here too. Those type of family members and friends. Too many cooks in the kitchen really can confuse a couple about what they truly want. And so that's where I become more of an advocate and mediator to try to find the middle ground. Because, like, maybe parents are paying for something. So we try to find a compromise. Like, mom absolutely wants a mariachi band. Okay, well, maybe we only do it for cocktail hour. Like, it's still there, but it's not the whole reception.
Right.
You know, so finding those compromises with family is a big thing. It is actually a lot more common for couples to be paying for their weddings now than it used to be. So we don't necessarily have that as much.
It still
But
happens.
it's still a compromise, even
yeah.
between the couple themselves.
Mhm.
The bride has a specific outlook of what she wants, but the groom may want it to feel a certain way or sound a certain way. So
Yeah.
finding a middle ground in any way that we can. That's always the number one issue.
And I think that's good that you said that, because I feel like those of us that have experience in the industry, especially as a planner, that there's a way to incorporate both sides,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
incorporate mom's
Balance.
Yeah.
ideas. And so there's a way to, for a lack of a better biology term, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right?
Exactly. There
So-
There you go.
is. So yeah, that's the number one. I'd say budget is also a thing,
Mhm.
especially after COVID, because the average budget like during COVID was like 25.
Mhm.
Average budget now is 35 to 40.
Mhm.
So like cost of everything went up, which means that everybody had to adjust their expectations. Vendors included. We all had to change our expectations of what to charge.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would say budget is a big one, because nobody wants to talk about money. Nobody wants to spend money like that, but
It's the reality.
weddings are investments.
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
they're not just a day that we blow money on. So that's always what I explain to my couples, setting the proper expectations of money and the interactions and expectations of what to expect, like what you're going to get out of it, the investment. So
That's good. Yeah, I like that. I always tell couples, or a lot of my friends or people I talk to about weddings, is like there's really like 3 or 4 moments in your life where you're willing to like drop big coin, and it's like when you have a new child, when you have a death in the family, a wedding, right? These are big moments in your life, and
yeah.
I always think like because these are big moments, we take it with like the utmost importance. We really understand that we have to be there for them to the full 9. And yes, it is a little pricey, but you are gonna get the best. So like it's
Exactly. If you align yourself with the right vendors
yeah.
who do see it as, an investment, because that's how I firmly explain it to my couples. This is an investment in your day.
Mhm.
That's exactly what this is. You need to invest in the business, the DJ, the planner that you want to work with. It's an investment. It's not just, an invoice.
Yeah.
And this is why I always
like that.
advocate for couples having a planner, because I feel like great planners like yourself are able to articulate to them, right? Like the importance of
Value.
of the value, and then placing value on things that they value. So if the
Yeah.
entertainment is like really important to you all, the importance of a great DJ, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be food, flowers, decor. So like I love that you've got the different areas of focus, because I think when you're able to break it down like that, then a couple can now start to visualize and see and
Exactly.
feel, and and you're talking about creating experiences and emotions that come with that. So
Yeah. And it's like 50-50. The, couple does not always agree on what's the most important.
right.
I would say most commonly the bride wants like the best photographer or a lot of florals. Those are like most popular.
Wow.
The groom wants the best DJ and an open bar.
Yep.
Those are so common. So
That's
even
hilarious.
I would say like the other 50%, like they all want a good venue. So that's pretty common.
But I love the term you used earlier, mediator.
Yeah.
That's
that's really what we do. They come to my Zoom calls, and sometimes it's just a vent session about life
Yep.
and family.
You're
And maybe we don't get a lot accomplished in that meeting, but
you're a
I'm still
therapist.
there.
Exactly.
You're a
Exactly.
therapist.
I was gonna say you're a
My
pre-marriage
psychology,
counselor.
it's
Yeah.
coming in handy.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the local places that you enjoy working at. What are some of your favorite wedding venues or locations, and why do you like working with them?
Well, every couple's very different. I
Right.
would say majority of our venues are hotel venues, so that's like most commonly what we work.
Right.
In Albuquerque, I really love Tamiya.
Mm.
Yes.
Because it can really cater to a variety of styles of a wedding and a variety of style of guest size, because they do a lot of the cultural weddings with big guest counts. They can do smaller ones. We have some at Cottonwoods. We
Mhm.
have some up at the amphitheater.
It's one of the few places that you can do the indoor outdoor.
You can do a mix and match. The
Right.
Hummingbird Garden is very underrated.
I agree.
It's so underrated. I did an event there and it was stunning. It was beautiful.
Mhm.
Like they do have that 10 p.m. noise ordinance, but I mean, so does anywhere else.
Right.
You
If you
know?
do your event right, we always talk about it. Like, you don't need to be partying till 11, 12
Yeah,
o'clock. You
no.
can just give them 2 hours, an hour and a half of really, really good
Yeah.
music and leave them wanting more versus like, are we done yet? Is it over? You know?
Yeah, a
So,
lot of my couples nowadays are planning after parties
yep,
off site.
exactly.
We've talked about that. I think that's going to
We're
be
asking
a
for it.
big trend here in Albuquerque. Is I think we're going to see more and more after parties
Yep.
happening.
A lot of my couples are starting to rent out breweries or small little saloons and bars and
Genius.
places that are not typical for events, but get 20, 30 people together for an after party.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more alcohol sales. Of course, they want to stay open.
You know what? And I think that's
love
like
that.
so important because, after an hour and a half, 2 hours, when people have been at your wedding for 6, 7, 8 hours, most of those people are ready to go home and call it a night. Then you take your wedding party, your 20, 30 people that still have the energy. They're younger. They want to keep it going.
Ride or die.
Yep.
Your ride or dies. And then you go to a place that has the energy that can match because 20 to 30 people in a big, massive ballroom, it's not the same.
No.
And no matter what, your DJ can't bring that. It's not,
tough.
we can't recreate that
No.
vibe that we had 2 hours before, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, you go to a bar, you go to a saloon, whatever, and create this after party that keeps the energy and the
Yeah.
vibe going.
And you could do a lot of fun stuff with that. Like, you could decorate it. You can make it exclusive to like your party, so it does feel like an after party. And you like come in, and you're like, oh, this is
Yeah,
cool.
and then
right?
but you take them into a smaller place, right?
Yes,
It's like the
exactly.
fireplace room at
Mhm.
Hotel Albuquerque.
Exactly.
Like perfect. It's
Mhm.
perfect for that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, I really love Tamaya
Okay.
because it can cater to a lot of different styles.
I agree. Yeah, it does.
I really do love Hotel Albuquerque because for some couples who want that like church vibe for a ceremony, they can still use the chapel, which I feel is also underrated.
Mhm.
But I would say sometimes it's the lighting. When they go to a tour, it's very dimly lit. Like it doesn't have the best
Oh.
window access. So I think sometimes that's what kills the mood. It looks all gloomy and it's not bright like a church should look
Yeah.
sometimes. So I think the chapel's underrated. The pavilion is beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, we love doing stuff out there in the
Yeah, the
pavilion.
Spanish Gardens, you can tent it. You don't have to.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's the ballrooms, but I really love Hotel Albuquerque and Tamaya. Those are my favorites in Albuquerque for sure. And then Sandia. I really love the event center.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
That's another
Same.
place that you get the indoor outdoor. They probably have the best view of the mountains.
They do.
Those sunset photos are just
I don't
crazy.
know, I feel like Tamaya gives them a run for their money. with the
It's
Yeah.
theater.
okay, you know what?
That's a
And I
good call.
agree. And it's a
Yeah.
different perspective of the mountains, right? Like
Yeah, whole
because it's
different angle.
further, it's a whole different angle further north. You get a different view. Like
The trees also. So
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like they give them a run for their money.
It's a beautiful thing about New Mexico, man. A lot of different venues, but you get scenes, sights from a lot of angles.
Yeah,
Exactly.
nice. So what about Santa Fe?
So for
Spaces?
Santa Fe, I really love Bishop's Lodge. It's my number one favorite.
Nice.
It does attract a certain client though. It's very Texas vibes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say it's very destination style for
It's
sure.
funny that you say that because I'm trying to think. I'm thinking back of my last few events there, and I think they've all been Texas.
Which is funny.
Mine
Why
too.
would they come
Couples.
to New Mexico if they're from Texas?
Mine had like a
Right.
very like deep cowboy theme, but it was also like a modern cowboy.
Yeah.
So
I
it
had
was
one like
cool.
that last year.
Yeah.
They had like some of the skulls and stuff, but it was still like very Texas.
Yeah.
And so they all of my couples when they come back here, they have an attachment to New Mexico for something.
Right.
Family member still lives
Yeah.
here. They vacationed here. They got engaged here. Whatever it may be, they have an attachment to it, and
It's true.
that's what brings them back.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that you said that. The last couple that I did there, these two ladies, they were so much fun, and the wedding was on a Thursday. I remember, small wedding, like maybe only 50 people from Houston,
Mhm.
and they had, for whatever reason, vacationed out here at, I believe it was there at Bishop's Lodge, and they had this attachment. They saw I don't know, it was like a deer or something like that. It meant something very spiritual to one of them, and they ended up getting engaged there, and they had this absolute attachment to the spot out there at Bishop's.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of, but it's really funny and ironic that you mentioned that because
Yeah.
that's exactly the way my last couple was.
Yeah, I really love Bishop's Lodge. I really love El Dorado as well because they also have a variety of spaces that you can use.
Yeah.
Right.
Their ceremony space with the white room, it's beautiful. You really don't have to do a lot to it. It just is actually just beautiful on its own. They have the patio, which is really common. So those are my two favorites in Santa Fe for sure.
Nice, awesome. Okay, so tell us how you work with other vendors and service providers, and just making sure that everybody has a seamless and coordinated wedding day.
Yeah, so I always keep in mind every vendor has a different process. Every photographer is very different how they write their timelines. So I naturally just, especially my first time working with a vendor, ask them like, what do I need to do for you to make this easy for you? How can I communicate with you better? Is it better by email, better by phone, by text? Would you prefer that I write up a timeline for you? Would you prefer I not? Every vendor is very different in how they work. So naturally, I always ask that first up front. And then having a working relationship with them, knowing that in advance, I also get to know their deadlines when they like to have the information by. Like I know you guys do meetings like the week of
Mhm.
your final meetings. Other vendors do not do it that close. So knowing that information kind of helps me better prepare for you, for myself, for the couple, what kind of questions they have. And so I always like to know what works best for the vendor because you may have a different way of, figuring details out and doing your final paperwork than other people.
Yeah.
So that's my number one thing. As far as the day of, like I said, I'm big on communication. I just need to know what you need to do your job because the entire reason why my couple hired vendors is to do their job. And I trust you to do your job. You're a professional. I am not a planner that likes to hover and micromanage. Like, I trust you to do your job. And if there's an issue, you tell me. Like, that's straight up how I work. I'm not a timeline Nazi. That's really big for me. I am not a timeline Nazi because if you're a true professional in the industry, you understand the day goes the way it goes.
Mhm.
Right.
We cannot avoid certain things like
Ebbs
weather.
and flows, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So adapting, like the good vendors who've been in the industry for a while, or even if you're new and you just are really good at it, adapting is a big thing. So communication is like really big for me. I just need you to tell me what you need.
It's funny. So those things that you just mentioned, those are like part of my, what was it? An episode or two ago, we were talking about, top five, our top five things. And those are on
For
my,
like a successful event.
for a successful event.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a successful reception. And I talked about communication, being flexible, and adapting. And I think those are,
Every good vendor has those skills.
yeah,
Have to be able
you
to.
have to put your ego and
Yeah.
aside
It's not our day. It's their day.
right.
It's true.
And things happen, right? And the more you're easily able to just adapt and be flexible, it alleviates everybody's stress,
Yeah.
throughout the day and makes
Exactly.
things, and just go with the flow. Like, roll with the punches. That's the way
Yeah.
it is,
I
right?
really do.
And I set those expectations for the couple too, so that they know like they do not need to worry about their vendors. The vendors are doing what they're supposed to doing. They also do not need to micromanage. Like mom of the bride does
Right.
not need
Yeah.
to worry about this. So same situation. I set expectations for vendors and for the couple so that they know like it is truly taken care of. This is all you need to know.
That's smart. We were just talking about that it's so important to set those expectations so that they can go in confidently on their wedding day and just be at ease,
Yeah.
because then they're like, okay, Taylor's taking care of everything. We've hired all of the right people. We've done what we need to do. Now we can just be here and just enjoy ourselves with
Yeah,
our
I feel like
guests.
when family starts to hover, like pester the DJ or pester the planner or the caterer, like
Yeah.
there must have been there was something that was not communicated properly to set an expectation. Someone did not inform that family, this is the timeline, this is what's going on, in advance.
Yeah, because they feel a need to
stand
say,
up. and
say
fix
something. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, whoa, hold on. We've got it. We're good. We got timelines. We got
Yeah.
everything ready to go.
Well, and I feel that anybody that's been married and has gone through that day, you don't realize and understand till after that day how fast
Oh my gosh.
it's the quickest day of your life, right?
It
Yeah.
really is.
And you're getting pulled a million different directions. Everybody that's there wants a piece of you and your time and there's just not enough hours in that day. So I think it's really important that you have this coordination and communication so that way they can have as many of those moments as they can, right?
Yeah.
Because time is so precious that day. And I always tell them that, like, hey, there's a few things, like make sure you take a moment to to take it to have a moment by
Enjoy
and enjoy it,
Yeah.
right? And be able to see what's going on. To be like you mentioned, to be able to eat,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the minute you sit down and people see you're by yourself, here comes somebody coming up to you. I mean, so yeah, I want them to be able to enjoy the day. So on our end, that's why we take care of a lot of things beforehand, like even just simple things, having your vendors paid for.
Yeah.
Just so that the little tiniest
yeah.
things that you're
I'm
not
never
having to
gonna
worry
ask my
about.
couple for a paycheck at the wedding.
Right.
Right.
Never.
Oh, man.
You don't want to be having to.
And I've told vendors, oh no, they can take care of that Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, finding music, I mean, I understand taking requests and that sort of thing. That's perfectly fine. But having as much legwork as you can have done
Yeah.
prior to that,
Yeah.
because then they know, like, okay, like I don't have to worry about the DJ. I don't have to worry about the flowers. I don't have to worry about this. Like, that's already done, taken care of. They know what to do. And now that frees them up just mentally, everything to go and have interactions that are meaningful. And they don't have to be thinking about the other,
Right.
all the noise that surrounds a
Yeah.
wedding day, right?
You mentioned that, and that's part of that guest experience too. Like I always, when I'm making the timeline with a couple, make sure that they understand that day goes by so fast. I do not even remember everybody who was at my wedding.
Right.
I have no
it's
idea,
tough.
and that's why a guest book is helpful
Yeah.
because then you
Yeah.
get signatures. But that's where like they need to decide like what family pictures are important, what moments are important. to
Yeah.
them, because that day goes by so quickly, and you will not have enough time.
No.
It's just not. It's not enough time.
And I think as we've been doing some of these when we get into the grab bag a little bit later on, you look at some of these TikToks of brides of things that I wish I would have done,
Yep.
or make sure you don't do, or do
Mhm.
this and do that.
Mhm.
So there's always some things I think after the fact
Yeah.
because it goes by so quick, and that's the stuff you don't think of.
Educating.
Right?
I think educating vendors too. I feel like that's
Yeah.
I'm about to start putting stuff on Instagram and TikTok too, because people who obviously still can't even afford a planner, they should still know the information so that I can help the community still be better. Like you may be working with a couple who can't afford a planner, but I still want them to know how to maybe work with a photographer to make their timeline, what
Yeah.
moments are important, think about their sunset time, like those different things.
Yes.
I think at the end of the day, it's just like us. I mean, I want to see my couples win, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we
I
want
mean,
them to have a good day and just celebrate and have fun.
we talked about that before. We know we are not the DJs for
Yeah.
every single person out there. That doesn't mean I don't want your wedding day to go off with a bang, and I want I want it to be the Super Bowl for you. I
Yeah.
want it to be the greatest day of your life.
Yep.
No matter what, whether you use us or not. So
Yeah, I want every couple to enjoy New Mexico's experience, whether they're from here or not. I still want them to have the best experience they could have.
Mm-hmm.
right. Awesome. Okay, so I don't know, Tony. Do you have any other questions related around any of that
With your
stuff?
best shot. Come on.
Give me give me one of your best one of the craziest wedding stories you have. A good wedding experience. Do you have any like parents
Good
fighting
or
parents?
Bad? Good or bad?
Anything?
Which would you prefer?
I want bad.
Okay.
Let's hear something
So-
Give us your worst. We want to
You
hear the
know,
worst
this
of the
actually
worst.
happened last year.
Okay.
I think what people don't understand is that at the end of the day, your planner has the most power to kick people out, to cut people off. We actually, along with like the security and venue, we have a lot of control of how that environment looks for your guests, especially if they're getting rowdy. So last year, I had an uncle of the groom who just got way too intoxicated really early on, and working with the DJ. And sometimes, like depending on the DJ, I like to hang around like the DJ just to like hang out. Like
It's a
otherwise,
safe
I'm
space
just
to be.
standing in the corner.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
It's a
so
safe
I
space.
generally hang around the DJ, like because obviously, like it's a point of contact. If
Yeah.
people need something, they go to the DJ. So
It's true.
I was hanging over there, and Uncle came up and requested a song. The DJ played it. Everybody cleared the dance floor. And it was this like old school, like late 60s, early 70s song. I don't even remember what it was. But
Just killed the momentum of it.
yeah, exactly. So the DJ like immediately got the momentum back afterwards, like
Yep.
cut the song in half, got people back on the dance floor. A couple minutes later, the uncle comes back up. And the DJ's like, okay, well, I'll get to your request when I can. And he got really mad and he got in the DJ's face. And
Uh-oh.
I'm a big advocate for my vendors
Yeah.
as well. I love my clients, but I will absolutely ride or die take care of my vendors. Like my vendors really mean a lot to me because I work with you
Yeah.
professionally, and I even know some, personally. And I want to make sure that you are doing what you can do and that you're safe at all times
Yeah.
and having a good time as well. So I actually had to step in between that DJ and that uncle, tell him to like go cool off, go chill out. About 10 minutes later, he comes back again. And the moment I saw him walking up, I immediately stepped in front of that DJ.
Nice.
And the uncle got in my face and was about to like push me physically, got very, very physical. So I had to kick him out. Just like instantly had to kick him out. And I had to go to the groom and say, I'm so sorry. He cannot be here.
Did you
For
hear
real.
that, people? Taylor's ready to go.
Perfect.
You win.
She's ready to fight.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was the worst. It's hard when it's a family member.
Oh, I can imagine so. This is somebody, this is his or her uncle, and
It was so hard, but the groom was mortified. He felt so incredibly bad, and I was like,
I'd feel bad too.
"Well,
I'd
not
be
me."
like, my bad. My
but
uncle
like,
was
I
acting a
need
fool.
that DJ to be protected and safe that he can do his job. So.
Well, we appreciate you looking
That's
out
right.
for us.
That I hired.
You lose.
No, wait, wait, you win, right?
Yeah.
Don't we win?
Well, no, the other people lose. Yeah. That's.
I like
So
it.
yeah, that's the worst.
That's nuts. I've never had that. I've never been like somebody in my face and being like, I'm gonna swing
all
on you.
kinds of vulgar swear words. and,
horrible.
like, I'm
Wow.
really professional, and I unfortunately had to tell him like, "You're out."
Once again, people
You're
thinking
out.
they're consumed about themselves,
Uh-huh.
right? And not thinking about the bigger picture.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's a good one.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you didn't have to.
No,
out the
I think
guns.
the
Yeah.
day after that wedding, if I remember, I had a bottle of wine.
I,
It was a long
Just
weekend.
one?
I can imagine so.
Oh
That's
man.
crazy.
So
That's
yeah,
wow.
Nice.
Worst experience.
Okay. Yeah. That's
It's pretty crazy.
that is crazy. Okay. We are going to move into a new section that we are calling this or that. We need like this or that music.
Oh shoot! I was not ready for that.
Wait a minute.
That's pretty good though.
You know what? But
this,
yeah.
this
No,
or
no, no.
that.
Which is the one that had like this? Oh, nothing but a G thing. That's the one we needed. Like this, that, and this, and
It's like this and like that, and
yeah,
like
we needed,
this and
needed that.
it's like this.
Yeah, there we go. Like
Yeah.
this, that.
It's
this,
Taylor's
and
favorite song.
Hey, you can find me on a dance floor at a wedding.
Yeah,
There we go.
I like it.
All right, there's our intro.
There's our
music.
this or that intro.
That's our
Perfect.
official this or that music. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so in this section, we are going to rapid fire 2 industry related options for you, Taylor, and you have to choose one over the other.
Which I would choose, like, which is better over the other.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so and we're gonna go back and forth with
Mhm.
me and Tony here.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna ease you into this.
Start us off.
That's right. Cupid shuffle or the wobble.
The wobble.
Oh,
It's quick. Did you see how
That
quick
was
that
quick.
That was
Why?
Wow.
I just feel like Cupid Shuffle is overplayed.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit old school. Obviously, like, we're closer in age and like a lot of our generation still loves it, but it's slowly phasing out. I feel like the wobble may be a little bit more like newer compared to like,
it is.
so it's still a little bit relevant. And I feel like they still play them, like Dirty Bourbon still plays it.
Yeah, they
and
do.
Downtown
Yeah.
they play it. Like, I feel like it's a little bit more relevant than Cupid Shuffle.
Nice.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So here's mine. Would you rather have it rain on the wedding day or have your dinner be an hour late?
Rain.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Rain is good luck.
Okay.
It is. And I feel like people really make the best of weather, but when people get hungry, like, they get hangry. So I feel like we could adapt
Yep.
in weather a lot quicker than with food.
Okay.
I like
Because
it.
otherwise, like, if we're an hour late with food, I'm going to be expecting you to, like, get people on the dance floor or something.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have to make up
Something
a
has to
game on the
happen.
spot.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's true. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So speaking of food, kind of first dance before or after dinner?
Before.
Ooh.
I really like the transition of a grand entrance straight into first dance.
Same.
I love it too. I think that's one of those things.
have their
Once again,
attention.
underrated, right? Like a lot of people don't do it. I think, especially here in New Mexico, they think very traditional sometimes, and you can't. We can't have. You gotta have the first dance after dinner.
Yeah.
Dancing starts after dinner.
Yeah.
So I love it when they do first dance before.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
A groomzilla or a bridezilla?
Groomzilla.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
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 No Zilla.
Honestly, the most popular I get is momzillas.
Momzillas.
Yeah.
We heard about a Tiazilla.
Yeah,
last
we had Tia Zilla on last week, and she was brutal.
She was
Yeah, I
nuts.
think the groom doesn't have as much expectations about the wedding, so when he does get upset, like, a little bit easier to understand and
Yeah.
like deal with.
I've only had one like groomzilla in my life, and he was a big firefighter, very intimidating dude.
Ooh,
Green? Was he
they're
green and
all
had
teddy
huge
bears,
pec-
I'm sure.
pectoral
yeah, right.
muscles?
Sure, he was just a big teddy bear. Okay. Nice.
Okay. Outdoor or indoor ceremony?
Outdoor. Yeah, I just feel like because once you move indoors for dancing,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't get as many of those like pictures of indoor outdoors. So I feel like outdoor ceremony is like perfect. Even like an indoor outdoor mix for cocktail hour, where there like is an option like outdoor, but you could go indoor if you want. So I do like outdoor ceremonies.
Yeah.
Those
Nice.
mountains, of course.
What about outdoor or indoor wedding, like overall?
I'd go indoor.
Yeah.
Just because with our weather here, like the
It's
heat is
so
sometimes
unpredictable.
unreliable, and
Yeah.
the rain. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. In fact, basically we don't do outdoor receptions anymore. So there's like certain venues, right? Like Hotel Albuquerque, cool with. At least I know we've got indoor options there if we need to, and it's pretty much covered underneath that pavilion area. So we've had it sprinkle there a few times on us, but our gear doesn't get drenched on. But it's same thing with the heat. Like if people want us to be outside, outdoor, like the heat kills laptops, you know, which is where we're running all of our music and amplifiers on our speakers. So it's like a logistical thing. And I just stopped because we've had some incidences where, I mean, if you
can't risk it.
No, you can't risk it. And like even just a little water and electronics just don't work.
They don't agree.
Yeah, I would do indoor because I can still take the couple outside for pictures.
Nice. Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Mine would be buffet or plated dinner.
Plated.
Plated.
The guests get way better guest experience with that. It's like they're going to a formal dining experience, which some people don't always get. So I think like that just really elevates it.
Interesting. Cool. I like that one. That's a good one.
Okay, the next one I'm afraid to ask.
Uh-oh.
Band or DJ?
DJ.
Yeah.
Just because, you know.
You
I'm
heard it
here.
You
I'm
heard
just
it here.
kidding. I'm on pressure, you know. No, I
that's
really
right.
love DJs.
I didn't want to have to kick you off this podcast too.
No, you know, I love the live bands we have. We don't have a lot. We do have some.
Yeah.
But DJs can adapt and they can literally play anything. And I love that because you can never tell what guests are going to want. Like your couple can give you a little bit of an idea, but we get those random requests. Like that Burna Boy. Like if someone requested that, that's like a little off the wall. Wouldn't expect that. A band could not play that.
They couldn't do it. So that's what I've always said too. So I love live music.
Yeah.
I love live music. And I mean, honestly, like, so Tony's talked about how he's had the opportunity recently to do this where they've had both a band and a DJ.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
cool.
think that's like, you know, super cool option. But you hit the nail on the head for me. Like nobody sounds like Bruno other than Bruno, right? Or Michael Jackson or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're limited always to a band's playlist. Like, so to be able to, that's the great thing about a DJ. If I walk into an event and, you know, I've had a playlist given by the bride and groom and it's nothing but hip hop music. And I walk in and everybody's wearing cowboy boots and, you know, and jeans and cowboy hats. Like I can make the, I can make the turn if I need to. So
I feel like you can, you know, feed energy different with a band than you can a DJ.
Yes.
But like with a, you know, live band, you get a lot of that energy because they're normally like moving around.
that's what I love
and,
about
like,
live music.
Yeah,
Exactly.
same.
But they only have their list that
Right.
they
Their
can
little
play.
collection.
Like very rarely can you just give them a song to play.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's why I love DJs.
All right.
Okay. Next one I have is seating chart or open seating. for
Seating
like-
chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you can really control the guest experience, drama, and like just the environment of your reception when you control where they sit.
Yeah.
Even there's two different types of seating charts though. One is like the name cards are at each seat.
Okay.
Second one is where they grab their name card as they go in and they're just assigned a table.
Mm.
So that also
Which
like
one of those do you prefer?
honestly, I like having the name cards at the seats.
Yeah.
It is a little bit more setup for us. We don't mind, but it does make it 10 times easier for the catering because they can go around and look at those names in advance before guests come in. So then they're more prepared. They can
Yeah.
get food out quicker. Like that logistically, I like that better.
Smarter. Yeah.
But couples hate making seating charts, and I can't make it
funny.
for them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would much prefer them just be assigned a table than open seating in general.
Okay. Nice. That's a
All
good
right.
way to work around it. Okay.
Okay. Taylor Swift or Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I like Taylor Swift, but I love Whitney Houston. I think I might have been born in the wrong generation. I like some older music
Yeah.
still, so I'm like,
Same.
That's kind of where
I love the 50s.
the heart of the question.
That's like some of my
Really?
favorite music is
Ooh.
the 50s.
What are some of your favorite artists from the 50s?
Oh my gosh.
I know, put you on the spot. It's
Yeah,
hard.
I mean, I don't know. There's just too many to pick from.
I understand. Mine is like the Temptations.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah,
of, like
yeah.
Motown vibes, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I like Motown
Yeah.
stuff too.
I like would skip the 60s maybe
Fair.
and then go like
Right to disco.
Yeah, and then I liked some 80s. Like my dad was huge in rock. That's like what he always played in the truck. So
Nice.
Pat Benatar and Blondie, and like all those others.
Nice,
Like
nice.
so I have like a wide range of music I like.
Cool.
You know?
Awesome.
Okay. Mine would be dance floor size. Should you go for a bigger size or a smaller size?
Bigger size.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Well, so we always proportion the dance size based off of the guest count. So like anything less than 100 should be a 12 by 12, which still sounds like, when you think about it, like 12 feet by 12 feet. Doesn't sound very big.
Yeah.
But you only expect half to 75% of your guest count to even dance.
Yeah.
Like no way all of your guests are on the dance floor at the same time. That's
True.
like so rare.
It's pretty rare.
Pretty rare. So the most average guest like dance floor size is a 15 by 15. So it has to be like over 200 for us to go up.
Oh, okay.
Like 175, 200. That's when we go to 18 feet. So I would say like, yeah, I'd slightly go a little bit bigger, maybe.
Nice. Okay. Good to know.
Just
All right.
in case they all get out there.
Yeah. Right. Just in case.
Just in case they have DJ Zia, and then
Yeah.
you're
It's
gonna
gonna
have
get
I
overflow.
mean,
You're
that
gonna-
like EDM, like concert
yeah,
style.
you're gonna
like-
have overflow from the wedding next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna need some more.
Yeah, we need more dance space.
They're gonna leave their
They're all
wedding and
dancing in
come to the
between tables,
Cutmaster.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay, open bar, cash bar.
Open bar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
day.
mean, just for the couple's sake of mine, for the guests, like very rarely do you see people come to a wedding with cash anymore. Like I don't generally carry cash anyways.
Cash wedding or Venmo wedding.
Yeah. For real.
I mean, I have seen so many people do Venmo and other things. Like there are some bartending companies who do that. So
Have you done a wedding yet where for the dollar dance they're doing Venmo and taking Cash App?
Got a QR code on the
haven't seen
dress.
that, but I have heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, QR code.
It's crazy. Crazy. But
ah.
yeah, I would prefer
Did we
a
just
hosted bar.
did we just invent something?
Maybe.
Better copyright.
I think we. I think I need to go look. Yeah, I need to go
Go
put
look up some
copyright on.
copyright laws.
It's an add-on to the Cutmaster music.
That's right. Would you like a QR code first dance
Customized.
or
QR
a
code.
Cash App father daughter dance? I don't know.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this is my last one. Summer or fall wedding?
Fall.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just naturally more of a fall person anyways. I actually don't mind the cold.
Yeah.
I feel like the cold weather, the fall and winter, we can work better with weddings because people, when they get out on the dance floor, they're drinking, like they're moving around, they get a little hot.
Yeah.
So like the temperature of the room, whether it's indoor or outdoor, is something that always plays a part in the guest experience. The more you can make them comfortable, the better. So if it's a little bit colder and they have a jacket, they can take it off while they're dancing. Like I just prefer cold weather.
Nice. Okay. Me too, though. I'm a big fan of October weddings.
Fall, like itself in general, like the scenery is beautiful.
You got the color changes of
Yeah,
the leaves,
yeah.
and yeah, I agree.
The sunset timing, all that.
Oh yeah, for sure too. That
Yeah.
as well. Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Let's wrap this one up with our final one: red or green.
Ooh,
I'm gonna have to go green.
nice.
Yeah, see, she didn't answer that one right away. Like I stumped her
Right.
for a second. I feel like I stumped her on
Christmas.
that
Let's
one.
just
Yeah,
do Christmas
there we
instead.
go.
I often do Christmas because I can't choose.
Yeah. See, I stumped you there. Christmas.
Yeah.
That's my
Okay.
answer.
Nice.
I like it.
Those are good.
All right. So that's it for the this or that section.
That was good. I liked that. That was the
yeah.
first time we've done something like
Okay.
that. So
That's right. Yep.
That
We
was
all have our
good.
own opinions.
That's
You know.
I like it. It worked.
okay. So we are going to move into the grab bag section.
Yep.
All right. We've got special music for this one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Grab bag tunes. Oh yeah. Grab bag tunes.
Grab bag. All right. Yeah. Very special.
We try to.
Special.
Y'all need to like copyright all these things.
That's
It's a good one.
we've been working on
Trademark.
it. It's a little bit different each time we do it.
It
But,
is,
You know,
but
one of these days we're going to coordinate and we're going to
Oh, that one sounded pretty similar to the others.
we're going to bust it out.
Trying, you know.
Competitive.
We need to come
Yeah,
up with the
right.
with the grab bag rap.
Grab bag rap.
Okay, so I'm gonna play a TikTok here. We've been going to the TikToks for grab bag, and we're gonna listen to this one. I believe this is a wedding planner, possibly, and then we're gonna discuss it.
Okay, I want to talk to my 2024 brides. So let's break it down. You got engaged in 2022, just like me, and now you're ready to plan your wedding. You're so excited, and boom, nothing's available in 2023. So you're like, okay, I'll do like beginning of 2024. We're thinking March of 2024. We start looking at venues. It's so exciting. And then you get hit with 2024 pricing. So I just want to keep it real and raw in here for all my 2024 brides. My name is Jessa, obviously engaged, getting married in March of 2024, but I'm also a wedding planner. So I want to break down like the real and raw emotions of understanding the wedding industry while planning a wedding. So hopefully you guys are along on this journey with me. We're about to lock down our venue. We're getting back our contracts soon because calendars aren't even open for 2024, but I'm going to take you through this process because I'm excited to share it from both perspectives of a bride and a wedding. Okay.
All right. So,
Yeah. It's true.
Book now.
right.
Prices go up I mean, that's one expectation I always set. Prices are going to go up for everything every year because of inflation and all of that. So knowing that in advance, kind of helping them cushion their budget a little bit, setting those expectations like this could be what we lock a rate in on our contract, but it could also change. And there are some vendors who put in their contracts rates could change. So setting that expectation as a planner is really important so that they know, like, don't get set to this budget.
And
This could change.
And I think too, something that I mean, it hits at the heart of as well, is that you can't start planning soon enough, right? So, yeah, if you have like venues, and obviously that's usually one of the first things, if not the first thing that gets locked down for couples. But your vendors, like, lock them in as soon as you can, because yeah, I mean, just like dates fly off the shelf
Yeah.
and people start planning well in advance. I know we get booked out. We're already booking into 2024.
I'm always heartbroken when I tell them I'm booked already. Like
Sucks.
you're like, I'm so down, but I already have that date
love to
booked.
work with you. You're my dream client.
Yep.
Right.
Not available. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
had a couple.
except for your weddings next weekend. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's been booked for
For real.
over a year and a half.
I've had that happen.
Yeah. I would say the longest I've ever had a couple is 2 years. That's like the longest time period I've ever
Quite some
had.
time, yeah.
Yeah. So I myself had an engagement of 18 months. That's how long mine was. And it was still long. It was, I don't know, it kind of felt a little too long. But I do feel like going at least over a year always helps a couple. Like, they can plan more money to save for things. Like,
Yeah.
they can book vendors they want in advance, which is where those expectations come in. Because if I know, like, your DJ is your number one, as soon as we have a venue and a date, heck yeah, we're getting your DJ.
hmm
You know, the photographer, things like that. So
Those are my big three:
Farther
venue,
out, the
DJ,
better.
photographer.
yeah,
Farther out the better, for sure. Farther out the better. Yeah,
Sure.
I agree.
All right. I think Tony's got one for us.
Got one. Here we go.
Hey, Brad, it's you.
I don't know how we're supposed to answer that.
Here it comes.
Was that
Take
Chinese?
off your damn
Oh,
bridesmaids.
bring it back. Sorry. Okay.
Hey, bridesmaids, I'm talking to you. Take off your damn Apple Watch. I don't think you're planning on running a marathon in your bridesmaid's dress. It just looks so sloppy. And you don't need a hair tie. You just got your hair professionally done. Take it off your wrist. That's it. That's the whole TikTok. That's the end.
that's it.
So I was just curious. Do you often see a lot of bridesmaids wearing
Yeah.
Apple Watches?
I had a bride who like wanted to keep it on, and I was like,
A bride?
"Are you sure? Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah, I got this special white band," and I'm like, "But do you want that in pictures?
Mhm.
Like, are you sure?" And she ended up taking it off because I think her like mom was like dead set, like, "You can take that off." You know, I'm never gonna push a couple to like do something they don't want to do. You know,
sure.
but I just remind them like, this is gonna be in your pictures forever,
Mhm.
ever. You know,
You're gonna
so
look back at this and
see a
20
text on your Apple Watch.
yeah, like.
You looking at the watch and it's like a beautiful moment, and you're
But
like,
but think
Yeah.
about it. The Apple Watch in 20 years is going to be like wearing a Walkman on your.
Yeah.
Like, why
Oh,
are you
yeah.
why are you wearing a Walkman on your arm
Mhm.
during
That's
your
true.
wedding?
But it's no different than hairbands. Like, we girls just naturally always have a hairband on our wrist, and I always have to remind them, like, take those off. Take
Yeah.
those off. Don't wear them in the morning because it leaves a mark on your arm.
Oh, yeah,
Like, those little things.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough life being a woman.
You know,
What's like good jewelry you recommend for ladies to wear?
Mm.
it depends on what you're wearing.
Okay.
I don't always recommend bracelets because sometimes they get snagged on the dress. So,
okay.
especially if a bride's wearing lace, oh my gosh, the moment you put your hand by your side, it will get attached to your dress and it'll rip it.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't recommend
Ah.
bracelets unless it's not a chain. If it's like a full on like fancy thing, but like
A
if it's got-
bangle,
yeah.
whatever.
So bangles are good. Like anything with stones or like edges, it could grab anything. It's gonna rip your dress like guaranteed. And
Eesh.
then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm like losing a thread. You know, and I don't want to have to cut that.
yeah.
So
See, I
know?
think this is why
Good to
you
know.
hire Taylor,
They
a
think about
wedding
those
planner.
things.
These are the things like dudes would not think about this.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just telling you right now. Like these are the things that I have no concept of any of that.
Nope.
And I also tell them, like, there's always a metallic in your color palette because, like, if you have candles, there's like a gold candle holder or silver or the silver flatware. There's always going to be a metallic in your wedding of some form. And I always tell the couple, make sure that you keep that in mind with your jewelry. Your bridesmaids may want to wear gold if you're having gold flatware. Like, try to keep those things in mind instead of mixing and matching. Now,
Smart.
mixing and matching metallics always looks nice too, but I always try to remind them.
Yeah, it's just
That's a
something
good thing to think
to be
about.
aware of, right?
Yeah.
And think about.
Nice.
All right, here, I've got another one for us.
Okay.
My wedding DJ played one of my favorite must-play absolute best songs while I was taking my golden hour pictures, and I'm just sitting in my feels from that moment right now because I went to a wedding this past weekend and the song came on, and it reminded me of how I didn't get to hear that song at my wedding because we were out taking our golden hour pictures. These golden hour pictures are great, but make sure you tell your DJ that your number one songs need to be played while you're in the dance floor room. This is just a random wedding tip of the day that I thought of, that I have never shared and never seen it anywhere on social media. So if you are planning a wedding, this is just a random tip. And if it helps, please use it. And don't be like me and be sad when you missed out because Hotel Motel played and you were out taking golden
I was like,
hour
was it this Pitbull song?
You know, I would think that that's naturally like a common sense thing, but
That's
that is
crazy to
part
hear
of
that.
that is part of education. Like,
Yeah.
everybody does so many different things. You know, some DJs do not prioritize sunset, some do. So like educating the industry in general, couples, vendors, like everybody, and definitely like as my couple, I would have told them like this is a list of songs like the bride and groom really want.
Yeah, these are their must
And
plays,
you would know
right?
when our sunset time is. Like,
Yeah,
you would know when I'm
exactly.
sneaking the couple out.
Well, and I think you have to have awareness as a DJ. You know, must play songs. Make sure they're in the room or on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Like, and you
Yeah.
know, and you would hopefully would know, like, okay, like this is my jam.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the one.
This is- yeah.
You know.
Well, it also plays on a way of like you could play the songs that they don't want to hear when
Yeah,
they're in the golden
exactly.
hour.
Right.
If they're not big country fans or Spanish fans or whatever,
The older stuff,
yeah,
you know?
feed that because then they don't even hear it.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the what you should be doing. But
Right.
that's crazy. I mean, I get you think it's common sense and then it's not, and then you're like, wow, okay,
Yeah. Little tip and trick there.
it's a good one.
All right.
Okay, so this one I'll just let it roll and then I'm gonna ask you a question after.
Okay.
Don't have to. Here are even more of my unpopular wedding opinions. Open bars are an option, not a requirement. You don't need to have a ceremony dress and a reception dress. Your bridal party can just be people you like, not people related to you. You're not obligated to a wedding weekend. And finally, if someone can't respond to an RSVP, that either means they don't respect you or they don't want to come. And either way, they don't need to be at your wedding.
Interesting.
Right. So those are some pretty like kind of
5
controversial
different
ones.
things. Yeah. So where to start? Okay. So the wedding party. I'll start there. I always tell my couples, no, you do not need to have a big wedding party. You don't need a wedding party at all. But if you're going to have a wedding party, just keep in mind, like, these people are going to be in your pictures forever.
Yeah.
These are the most important people. Technically, like, as a wedding party member, you are the one who's saying, like, I will support this couple. Like, that's part of, like, being in a wedding party, is saying, like, I will nurture this relationship. I will support this relationship. It's not just to stand there for pictures. There was actually
Yeah.
a purpose way back when why that happened.
That's awesome. I like that's a good way to explain it because I feel like a lot of people just think of it as like, oh, my boy's
Yeah.
getting married, so I just got to show up. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
there's people in my wedding party that, like, I haven't talked to in years. And
Yeah,
I
same.
wish I had thought about that and known that before they were in my wedding.
You know what? Isn't it funny? All hindsight, right? It's the same with me. I mean, we had this. I don't remember. It was like 8 or 10 couples. We had a big wedding party. All of this stuff, right? Just like so many things we do differently now.
Yeah.
People that aren't even in your life anymore,
Yeah.
really, and for whatever reasons, not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They need to be people that, like, truly, will nurture and, like, support your relationship,
there
because
for
that
you,
is the whole purpose they're there for. It's not just to, like, stand by your side and, like, hold your hand.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and
nice.
I think that's what it ends up being a lot of times, especially now. I'm sure, like, on Instagram, it'll look great if I have 10 people on each side of
Oh
me.
no.
Yeah.
No. I always tell my couple,
Oh,
that's
no.
more bridesmaids gifts you have to buy. That's more groomsmen gifts you have to
That's
buy.
what I'm saying. The stuff you're
Hair and
look
makeup
about.
to pay for.
Yep.
Like, oh my gosh, the bigger the party, the biggest party I've ever had was 12 on each side.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
was the
I've
biggest
had that.
reason.
Huge. You can't even fit all that many people in a picture.
It's crazy.
No.
No. Trust me, you don't like all 12 of them.
Yeah. What are some?
I guarantee 3 of those couples don't like you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Just kick them out.
Yeah. What are some other like unpopular wedding opinions that you have?
So I would say like a popular one is like the father, daughter, mother, son. A popular opinion that you need to have both if you're going to do one.
Mhm.
But I disagree. I don't see why you would need to do both. Like if a parent has passed, then it should not feel awkward for the other partner to be able to dance with their parent.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's a good one.
You know, and I've had couples that have come to us and they don't know how to approach that
Exactly.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
just tell them, just do your dance with mom and we just keep moving right along.
Mhm.
Nobody's going to know any different.
Yeah.
Nobody, I promise,
beautiful
nobody's going to
moment.
question you.
Yeah, no one's
Like,
asking. Anything.
nobody's asking anything. In fact, they can't wait. They're just focused on when they get to dance.
Like
Like
a bar
and-
open again, you know?
right?
Yeah, and to like go off of that, I had a bride who was like, "Well, I can't do a father-daughter because my dad passed, but I want to do a mother, like a bride and mother. And
Yeah.
is that possible?" I'm like, "You can do anything you want.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's no reason why you can't do that. It's
Yeah.
your wedding.
Just make this
so
yours.
Dance with whoever you want. I actually danced with my dad and my grandpa at my wedding.
Nice.
I did both.
That's cool.
So
Yeah, I mean, I know we did one recently where, second marriage, I think, and mom came out and danced with her little son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was make it yours.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Okay,
Nice.
cool. Well, I think
Those are my 2 TikToks.
I think that's it. That's good for the
Nice.
grab bag today.
Yeah.
Good job.
Cool.
You passed, Taylor. Good job.
Man, I was feeling the sweat.
That's right. But you just wait. You just wait because now we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the music, people.
Taking it back.
Just when you thought you were safe. Great Scott!
Nice.
Nice. Well, good job, Taylor. Yeah, we appreciate
pretty
you
good.
coming on.
You came through.
Definitely.
First pod. Have you ever done a pod before?
I haven't. No, my
That's
husband
pretty
has
good.
his own podcast, and he's never even had me on his podcast.
What?
I know.
Man, well, you
Now you got the
passed.
experience.
You
Yeah.
passed the test. You did a great job. The people love you.
You did great, Taylor.
I mean, yeah. So I think that's gonna do it. We're gonna put a bow on this one.
Yeah.
And I don't
Thanks
know.
for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for
Yeah,
thanks
we
for joining
appreciate
us.
you
We're gonna
being
Yeah.
definitely need to do it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah. So website is laceandbowbridal.com.
Mhm.
And then on Facebook and Instagram, it's at laceandbowbridal NM.
NM, Lace and Bow Bridal,
Mexico.
NM, New
Yep.
Mexico. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Well,
Very
thanks
cool.
again, Taylor.
We
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Thank you all for listening.
Appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks for checking out the Cutmaster Cast podcast. Make sure you stay tuned with all things related at www.cutmastermusic.com.